each morning when I get up, I get your email.
Oh, you get my daily. Oh, lovely.
And I sit there and I look at the subject line and I look at it and it says, "Hello, beautiful person."
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh my goodness, I'm going to get a chance to hear you say to me your line. Would you do that for me, please?"
Hello, beautiful person.
I stepped on your line. Do it again. Do it again. I
Hello,
need to absorb
beautiful
that.
person.
Let me be quiet and let me have a beat so that I can just enjoy it.
Okay. Hello, beautiful person.
Thank you.
Oh,
Because
you're
that's, I really see that there is a disconnect between who I think I am and who I really am. And
all of us.
that's what I see you exactly. That's what I see you in your quest in where you have become as a spiritual teacher, as you've really worked to show me who I truly am.
Lovely. Well, who we are, all of us, truly is love. That we were born in this state of love, as the state of love, and then the would haves, could have, should haves start chiseling away. And our parents, God love them, buy into all the things our grandparents bought into, and sins of the fathers just keep being passed down. Yeah.
I One of the greatest phrases that I heard about both our paths and me is that they did the best that they could by the light they could see by.
Yeah.
So
And
that's as far as we went. I mean, that was where we were. Can you tell me a little bit about your spiritual evolution? Because this process of where you have come to be a spiritual teacher and a guide as you're going now, it didn't start that way.
no, it didn't. I mean, I didn't have the intention of being a spiritual teacher or a life coach, whatever term you want to put on it. Um, but I have always been a teacher. When I was
Tell me
little,
more.
well, when I was little, I would have the neighborhood kids come over and I would teach school. And then I became a teacher and taught high school English and theater, and had my own dance studio where I taught
Where was this?
in Kansas City, where I grew up, born and raised. And and then I opened my own acting studio after some years of a lot of success as an actor, and started teaching there. And it's actually within my acting studio that all my healing work started. So it was during that time that the channel knocked on my little consciousness and said, "Hey, we want you to do this." And I said, "Why me? I'm this kid from Kansas." And they said, "Exactly, because you're able to say it in a way that people will be able to understand it." And that's true. I don't use a lot of woo-woo words. I combine a lot of my spiritual teaching with brain science and with life experience. Um, I've had a lot of traumas in my life, and I know firsthand that if you keep telling your story, you keep living your story. And your job is to take whatever happens to you and go, okay, now what? Now, how do I have the power to create what I want? Because nobody's going to change. My father's not going to not be an alcoholic or not going to commit suicide. Those things are done. I'm not going to be raised in a poor family. That's done. But who am I now? And where is my power now? because it's all up to us. You know, a lot of spiritual teachers, and I'm say this without any judgment at all, um, teach a lot about going to your guides, going to your angels, getting your information from somebody else. And my channel says that's just another way of the entire universe talking to you. So it really doesn't matter what terms we use or where we think our guidance is coming from. Ultimately, we were put on this plane to practice free will. So God, the guides, the angels, they're all waiting for us to decide with clear intention what we want to create. And then they come in and help.
You know, let's go back to that, what you were talking about when the channel came to you, because I know that from A Course in Miracles, Helen Schuckman, who was the person who kept hearing that voice in her head, "This is A Course in Miracles, please take notes." And she just shook her head, no. And she went to William Thetford and said, "What do I do? What do I do?" Well, why not take notes? So tell me about that experience of coming to hear this very clear channel in your head and go, wait a minute, this is something real, this is something important. Tell me about that.
Yeah, and I really have to say it didn't happen that way.
Well, how did it happen for you?
Well, my husband of 18 years suddenly died from a heart attack. And I dropped to my knees and I said to God, I don't want to be pissed off and I don't want to be a victim. I want a way we can heal ourselves. Now, in the good book, it says, ask and ye receive. Well, I asked, didn't I? I want a way we can heal ourselves. And the first thing I remember hearing is use the light within you to heal yourself. And I went, like I thought I was talking to myself. I went, what the heck does that mean? And the next thing I heard was, you're the power, Dee. You're the power of your own creation. Teach that. So I am. But I said, you see, and I knew this really without understanding completely what I was doing. I said, all right, I'll consider teaching this, but you're not going to use my body. You're not going to use my mind. I'm not going to take on anybody else's energy. If I can do this in an objective way where I can get information that's only the highest information, then I'll do it. And that's been the way it's been now for over 30 years. What I know and what I've been taught is everything's energy. We learned that in 5th grade, by the way.
Yes.
Everything is energy. There's no positive energy, no negative energy. Energy's neutral. And energy must be directed for it to take physical manifestation. If we are not directing it consciously, it will take its direction from social media, God forbid, commercials. Oh my Lord, if you're not aware of the commercials you're watching, that's right there. If you're dealing with any health issues, start with not watching commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood fears, old religious teachings that are antiquated and incorrect, your parents' modeling and teachings. So we're all directing energy, whether we're conscious of it or not. That's why all my work in my first book and my radio show is
Hmm.
called Conscious Creation, because we are never, ever taught that our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs are all something we have a right to choose and redirect if we don't want them. But we're not taught that. We're also not taught that the greatest force we have to create with is love. We think it's some namby-pamby little, oh, he loves me kind of thing. Love is the greatest force of creation that we have.
Exactly.
My channel gave me a one line, whatever you want, love it more.
I've been thinking about that. One of the things that I'm working on is, all right, well, let's go back to the concept of the equations that we all learned in school, right? Equations. Anytime you have the equal sign, that means it's the same as. You can substitute one for the other. So, and also the equal is named is. So A is B. A equals B, A is B. God is love. Love is God. Love
Right.
is all there is. It's everywhere. It's the universe. It's completely. Now I can shut my eyes to it. Doesn't change love. Doesn't change the fact that it's inundating me from all. But how much am I willing to accept, to learn in my heart of what is already there? It doesn't change. I'm the one who distances myself away from that light or move incrementally toward that light. Does that
Yes,
resonate?
absolutely. And the challenge is that most of us don't know that. We
Exactly.
think,
I forgot. It's a forgetting. It's a remembering, right?
well, and it's also a reteaching.
Thank you.
Yeah, because again, you can't, if your entire life you're taught that blue is red, then you have to stop and go, all right, this belief is not a belief I want. I thought it was a real belief. I thought it was truth. It's not. So I get to redirect that belief and choose what I want to believe now. And most of us don't want to take that responsibility.
No, no, no. I'd much rather be the victim, right? Would much rather say, well, all my problems are caused by this
Yeah,
situation outside of myself when it is never the truth.
yeah. And for many different reasons. Oh my God, I don't know. Oh my God, what if I make the wrong choice? Oh my God, what if God doesn't like this choice? Oh my God, I'm going against my mom and dad if I make that choice. I mean, all of these teachings, do you know that a child's brain around their self esteem, how they see themselves, how they see the world, and how they see the world seeing them, totally locked in between conception and 8 years old. So
Oh,
I tell the people I work with, if you want to see the wall you're hitting as an adult, what were you taught verbally or what was modeled to you from 0 to 8 years old? You'll find out why you can't move forward. For example, um, I was raised a lot by my grandmother because we were very poor and my mom had to work all the time. And I remember her saying to me, well, they're the rich people, Dee Dee. We're the good people. Now there's a belief. So cut to Dee turning 32 and starring in the biggest blockbuster of all time.
E.T.
And I go, oh my God. I'm one of them. And I went, no, this is not what I want to believe. I know that I can make millions of dollars, and that money has no consciousness of its own. My consciousness decides what my money does. So the more money that I make and the more I love doing it, the more I can help my family, give to my new grandbaby, um, the more I can give money to all those little rescue animals that I love so much. You know, I do more good in the world because I allow the world to give to me.
Yep.
So that was a huge eye opener for me. My younger brother, my father was a severe alcoholic, according to my mother, because of everything that happened to him in the war. Never, never could get on top of it. 4 times in rehab. And then my little brother became an alcoholic. Well, it runs in the family, Dee Dee.
It does. Being an adult child of an alcoholic myself, I understand the process.
And you're the only one that can break it.
Only one. It does not. It
The
has to
only
stop
one.
here. It cannot. It cannot be outsourced.
No, and you know, Daddy isn't going to change it. He's not even here anymore,
No.
right?
No.
He's the only one that can love himself enough to go, you know what? I'm rising up to my greatness. I know my daughter writes in her book, Eat, Pray, hashtag FML, about the time I think she was in 9th or 10th grade and she was acting out and I called her on it. Well, you didn't walk in and find your dad dead when you were 7 years old. And I remember looking at her and saying, okay, that's it. You will never use your father to be less than who you are. And she says it's one of the pivotal moments that shifted her life. But we have to do it. You know, your beautiful listeners out there, and I'm sending you all so much love. You can hear this, you can read it, you can study it, you can go to workshops about it until you choose to be conscious of living it and not letting yourself get away with excuses. That's when your life changes, and that's only when your life changes. I want to talk a minute there. My channel is screaming at me here about allowing. So I teach a lot about directing energy. The first thing you have to do in the creation process is know exactly what you want. And I can tell you from doing 5 privates a day, most people don't know. They think
No,
they
it's
know.
hard. It is. So give help with some guidance there.
Well, like, you know, I can have somebody come up to the stage when I'm speaking and go, okay, so what do you want? I don't want to have to worry about money. Good. What do you want? Well, I'm so stressed about money. Good. What do you want? Well, I don't want to feel like I don't have. This can go on for like 10 to 20 minutes until they get so pissed off at me that they go, God, Dee, I want more money. And I said, first time you said what you want. You see, we're taught to express what we want by saying what we don't want. I don't want to be abused anymore by my husband. It's very different than I want to be respected and honored by my husband. Now, That's important to understand the difference because your brain thinks in pictures. So if you say, I don't want to worry about money, what does your brain see? It sees you
Worrying about
worrying
money.
about money.
Absolutely. All of the, oh my God, sitting there going, oh, what am I going to do? Yeah.
Yep. Only think about what you want. That's why in the good book it says, think only on these things.
Yes.
Brain science says whatever you focus on, you create more of because you're feeding your energy into it.
Yep.
You know, spirituality, religion, and brain science really all saying the same thing.
All the same thing. The more I learn about quantum mechanics, getting down at that below the Planck level and understanding that it not only is everything energy, but before it's energy, it isn't energy until it's observed. So that means that there is an actual participant of in our creation of reality, that we are the participant in it. So what I pay attention to is deeply important.
Well, it's everything, really. You have to know what you want. Look, I can tell you the creation process that I write out in Born in 3 or 4 simple steps. Know what you want, love it, take action, let go.
Okay,
The
let's go over those
universe,
four. Love what I want.
take action,
Take action. So that take an action
and let the universe deliver
and
it
let
to
go.
you.
I
And
love that
that's
because it stay out of the results. The results are not my job. The
not your
work.
job. And let me tell you, the universe will figure it out so much better than
So
you
much
ever
better than
will
I. Oh,
because the universe knows all the possibilities, and our little monkey mind says, yeah, but that can't work and that can't work. And how would I be able to do that? And that doesn't seem possible. You don't want to ever go to your mind, guys. You want to go to your heart. If you want to know and get clear about anything, never go to your mind. Your mind is literally made to question and doubt to keep you safe. And that's never where you're going to get your highest guidance.
can how looking back at that acting teacher with the class in Kansas City, and then seeing yourself now, and can you, what was her mindset as far as being able to allow before you had the words and this to get there, the way of you getting there? Am I asking the question in the right way?
Faith. I
So
had
you
faith
had
in me.
the faith was that part of it.
Naivete. That's another great. I'm a big believer in naivete. Let me tell you, I had never been out of Kansas in my life. Went to college, got my degree, taught a year of high school. I said, if I don't get out of here, I'm never getting out of here. I'm going to go to New York and be an actor. And everybody looked at me like I just landed in a spaceship and said, are you crazy? You don't know anybody. Nobody knows you. There's no way you're ever going to make it as an actor in New York. I said, thanks for sharing. God and I have a different plan. I'm off to see the wizard. And do you know, between the time I left Kansas and the time I started in ET was a little over 7 years. Unheard of in my business.
Wow.
But I didn't listen to all the people who knew. I had 6 specialists tell me I would never have a baby. Well, my daughter is 35 and just gave me my first grandson because I didn't take their belief in my creation. I said, I see her, I know her, and I'm going to create this baby. My daughter laughs. She says, yeah, Mom, there were like millions of souls up there. And finally I said, all right, I'll go. She's not going to give up. But that's what I mean. instead of going to our hearts and the power of the God that we are, we listen to other people's limitations.
So
Why?
how do we tune that out? And I know
I don't
that I
think you tune it
meditate
out.
and I'm working with that, but talk to me.
Well, I don't think you tune it out because what you resist persists. So you go,
Oh,
okay, I hear you. I understand that you believe I'm never going to have a baby, but I'm the powerful God of me. Nobody can think a thought for me, right? No. Nobody can feel a feeling for me. No. Nobody can hold a belief from me that I don't want. No. I am the creator of me. And the more we know that and own that, and my channel's going, yeah, but we're taught that God won't love us if we're that powerful. Well, God didn't say that. God said, these more miracles and more will you do also. Well, you can't do miracles, guys, if you don't accept the power that you are.
I love your channel sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
There's such a lovely irony, and I mean, this is the whole thing. And when you talk about, that's what I love about when I see some of the wonderful recreation paintings when they show Jesus or Buddha or any of and they're laughing and they're smiling because you know that had to be an important aspect of who they are. They wouldn't have pulled all of us in.
Sure. Why do they say anybody that has severe illness, watch a lot of comedies?
Norman Cousins
Because
did
your
that. That was so.
body responds to joy. It your body is a universe within itself. The happier you are, the happier your body is.
Oh, I have a pet theory. May I share a
Okay,
pet theory with you?
sure.
All right. That the distance between the tip of my nose to the event horizon of the universe, which is as far as light has traveled since the beginning of the Big Bang, that entire in parsecs is exactly the same amount of distance in parsecs from the tip of my nose to the center of my soul. So that my internal universe, that is the universe I am here to be and to love and to be part of it. So does that resonate with your channel?
Absolutely. Everything is created within us first.
Exactly. And then
So
objective
I
thought.
have to be money. I have to be the frequency of money. Let me give everybody a big tip here. So think of something that you want in your life that you don't have now.
Okay.
I guarantee you that at least 90 to 95% of you saw it out there.
I
You
did.
saw it in the future.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, well, that ain't where you create it. You create it right here first. And you love it and you experience it. And I'll take you through a little exercise. And then the universe goes, oh, let's match that. See, okay,
Oh, so it
Dave,
has a resonate. It resonates to what I have, the
it
frequency that
matches
I have
whatever
inside
we
to
put
that.
out. It matches whatever we put out.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
universe's job.
Click.
It
Click.
can't,
That makes
it
sense.
cannot decide for us. It cannot choose for us. So they measure your heart with an electrocardiogram. They measure your brain with an electrocephalogram.
Hmm.
Every thought, every feeling we have has an electrical signal.
Yes.
It shoots out into the universe, which is electromagnetic. The universe's job then is so here is I'm powerful and I'm joyful and I create a lot of money, and the universe goes, okay, got to match that. Boom, send it back to her as the reality of her life. Or I never have enough money and I'm so stressed enough money. Well, I got to match that, send that back to her as
Oh,
the reality of her life.
I had a religious teacher that says